was going to say, you don't have to get quiet yet. I'm just making a few corrections in my notes. I think he's coming.
Testing.
Test 1, 2. Can you hear me back?
David,
Testing.
they're getting ready for it to start rolling, so you have to take it on. Well, it's not yet.
Testing.
He's watching.
Okay, it looks like counties that actually recognize students for their academic talents. And I think that says a lot about the board of directors, some of whom we'll introduce tonight, but also about the community, because the scholarships that we are going to award tonight are basically monies that are donated by businesses here in the community. So don't ever go away thinking that it's just the athletes that get the trophies and the plaques. Our county does a wonderful job of recognizing students for their talents, and I think the community, the businesses, the people, and the board are to be commended. So thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Bowden. For those of you that need to know that bit of business, I will introduce for you very quickly the two folks that are up here with us, and they're going to have some comments in a moment. Michael Moore is the Vice President of the Harrison County Student Achievement Board of Directors, and I think most of you know Dora Stutler, the Superintendent of Schools for Harrison County. And by the way, congratulations, Dora. That was a lovely article in the paper today on her. Yeah, I mean, she'll be shy, but it was a very, did people see that? Am I the only one that read it? Okay, I thought it was very nice, so I thought I would mention it. Well, papers are struggling, not just here, but everywhere. One of the things I wanted to do before I introduce Michael again to talk about what the Board of Directors is all about is I like to tell a few stories on occasion. This one, I would probably advise, the parents will get a kick out of it. I'll advise the students, you can maybe do this over the next couple of days, that being when you're in class. went to the cafeteria, your classroom, just take a good, close look at some of your classmates, your fellow students, and kind of just wonder what they're going to look like a couple of alumni reunions a few years down the road. Because you want to make sure you get it right. Unlike a lady, I found a story about a lady who wrote into her local newspaper a story that I thought was cute, and it might keep you from making the same mistake. Have you ever been guilty of looking at someone your own age and thinking, surely I can't look that old? Well, you'll like this. My name, this is the lady writing to the paper, my name is Alice Smith, and I was sitting in the waiting room for my first appointment with a new dentist. I noticed his DDS diploma, which had his full name on it, obviously. Well, suddenly I remembered this tall, handsome, dark-haired boy who had been in my high school class some 40 years ago. Could this be the same guy that I had a secret crush on way back then? Well, upon seeing this dentist for the first time, I quickly discarded any such thought. This balding, gray-haired man with a deeply lined face was way too old to have been my classmate. So after he examined my teeth, I asked him, had he attended Morgan Park High School? Yes, I did. I'm a Mustang, he said with pride. She said, well, when did you graduate? And he answered, in 1959. Why do you ask? Well, you were in my class, she exclaimed. And then he looked at me closely. That ugly, old, bald, wrinkled, fat, gray, decrepit dentist, son of a gun, asked, what did you teach? So, okay, let me call on Michael Moore, again, Vice President of the Harrison County Student Achievement Board of Directors. Michael?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael Moore. I'm a lawyer at Steptoe & Johnson here in Harrison County, but I'm also a member of the Board of Directors for the Harrison County Student Achievement Board and Program. This is the 31st year that this program has been in existence. It is a nonprofit, but it's also affiliated with the Board of Education. It was founded in 1992 for the purpose of trying to allow students to further their education here from Harrison County. I was a recipient of one of these scholarships in 2005, so now I've dated myself. Most of you were either not born or were just born when I was graduating high school, at least the graduating senior, I should say. So, which is kind of hard for me to believe. But you all will learn tonight that the total amount the community has given out is $35,000, over $35,000 to scholarship recipients tonight. This organization, as I said, started in 1992 with nothing, nothing in the bank, and we kind of start that way every year. And we have to fundraise through generous giving from organizations throughout Harrison County. It truly is a wonderful organization. The Board of Directors put countless hours into this process, a lot of thoughtful analysis of the applications. I believe this year we're going to give out over 45 scholarships, maybe more than that, but we had over 115 applications. So you all should be applauded for your achievements, and we appreciate you so much. I would say enjoy the rest of your senior year at this point. To Gary's kind of note, once you disperse from your schools, there will be a whole lot of people you never see again until you're in the dental chair 40 years down the line, and you can't believe that guy's that old, does it? So with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Stutler and ask for her.
Just want to say thank you to Mr. Bowden and Michael for their great introductions. And I just want to say, he said, did you say 2005? I'm not going to say the year that I graduated. We'll just go right past that. but I think I can top that. So I just want to just take a moment to speak to the seniors that are here and their parents, because, you know, we've had a rough couple of years with all the things going on with, you know, COVID and all that. We try to forget about it, but our kids have been through a lot in the last 2 years. So hopefully the senior year for them has been a little bit normal. You know, we were able to play some ball games and get some field trips in and do some normal things. So I hope that the seniors can say when they graduate this year that they had a fairly normal school year, because that's sure what we were going for. And I know they've had a tough time up until that. They had really, this senior class had disruptions every year, I do believe, with something. So we're just proud of them to weather that. We're proud of our parents to get through it. A lot of difficult decisions, a lot of tough times, but we made it, and they have a few weeks left to be seniors, and we hope that they enjoy it. I'm seeing some things come through, you know, our office. We get the chance to see some of the things that the seniors are doing, and it just makes me proud, and I'm just so happy that they are able to share in those events and activities with their classmates. You know, going to school from the time you're, you know, I've been fortunate. I've been able to see children start school when they're 3, and I've seen a graduating class all the way through. And it's amazing what you see from a 3-year-old. You know, they get to 5th grade and they're ready to move to middle school, and that big excitement. You know, you get to 8th grade and it's the same excitement. You're getting ready to go to high school. You kind of finish up as 8th graders and you're ready to go to high school. And then you go into that big world as a freshman, and now you've made it to a senior. And so think about those 13 years, all the different people that you've met and that they've influenced you, teachers, your parents and guardians have been there all the way through. And just, if you stop and reflect on that, it's such a huge accomplishment to be right here. And you've put in the effort and the time and worked hard, and you're going to earn one of these achievement awards because of the effort that you've put in. And when you go to college, you put in that same effort, and in 3 years, 4 years, or whatever you decide you're going to do in college, you're going to reap that benefit again. So this is just really a milestone for you. You're getting out of high school, and I just want to say, hang with us, seniors, for about 6 more weeks, because I have a daughter that teaches high school, and she said her seniors are ready to go. So that's great, and I know they're ready probably academically, but you got about 6 more weeks to hang in there with us and enjoy your friends and really relish these last few weeks with your friends, all right? And we're going to wish you the best of luck when you get to high school, or when you go off to college, or wherever you decide you're going to go. And we're going to be watching you and paying attention, and hopefully you can come back and join us and tell us about all your accomplishments. But we're proud of you, we're proud of the families, and we just want to say thank you and congratulations to the Harrison County Achievement Award winners tonight. Thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, most of the parents in this room were not born when I graduated from high school. Yeah, way too many years. It is, though, nice. To your point, it's so nice to see anxious but smiling, unmasked faces in a group like this. I love it. And I know you love being back in school on Sunday night. What could be better? I know that's where I'd want to be when I was 18. Not so much. Okay, it's time to introduce our featured speaker this evening, but first, I want to give you a little information, a little background on this award that is presented each year to our speaker, who is typically an alumna of one of the Harrison County high schools. The Davis Jackson Distinguished Alumnus Award. It's given to honor and recognize an alumnus of the Harrison County schools for outstanding achievements in his or her profession and community, and who serves as an inspirational role model for the youth of our community. The award carries the name of two famous sons of Harrison County who took their careers to the apex of their dreams. John Davis was a highly successful attorney and a diplomat at the national level. He served as an American ambassador to Great Britain and was the Democratic nominee for president in 1924. Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson, through hard work and determination, overcame a very limited early education to successfully graduate from West Point Military Academy, and later he taught cadets at the Virginia Military Institute. He gained worldwide recognition, you probably know, for his brilliant military strategies as a lieutenant general in the Confederate Army. Both men exemplify accomplishments of outstanding achievement in their chosen profession. So, tonight, we recognize and welcome as our featured speaker Laura Kate Bernstein. Is that correct, Laura? Bernstein? Bernstein. Excuse me. An alumnus of RCB. Laura Kate is a federal prosecutor with the United States Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. She graduated, as we just mentioned, from Robert C. Byrd High School in 2004. She earned a bachelor's degree of science and marketing management from Grove City College and went on to receive a law degree from Harvard Law School. At Harvard, Laura Kate was the senior editor of the Harvard Human Rights Journal and technical editor of the Harvard Civil Rights, Civil Liberties Law Review. She's married, didn't bring her husband and kids tonight, so she celebrated all day long, according to her parents. She and her husband live in Arlington, Virginia, and they have three sons. Right. Please welcome Laura Kate Bernstein.
Thank you. Gary didn't mention that we used to live 2 doors down from each other. And Brad used to come over all the time. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me this evening. It is a real honor for me to be back at Byrd. I wish I could see you. I kind of can't with all of the lights. But today's been a dream for me. My parents and I hiked in these beautiful hills and shopped from local shops. I connected with old friends, once from high school, the forever friends, the ones you're sitting next to. And it occurred to me, as I hiked and admired this glorious place, that saying this now, I think the joke's been made, but many, maybe most of you are 17 or 18. It occurred to me that I graduated from this special place 17 or 18 years ago. And I'm looking around at faces, and you guys are like, yeah, that checks out. She's twice as old as me. I get it. I encourage you not to write me off as an elder millennial that doesn't get it. I mean, my parents never knew where I was because I didn't have a cell phone. So there's some things that we did okay. And believe it or not, there are some benefits to being 18 years away from where you're sitting right now. And if you'll allow me a few minutes, I'd love the opportunity to share some of those with you. Let me introduce myself. I know Gary already did a great job, but I'm Laura Kate Bernstein, formerly Laura Kate Denny. My picture's on one of these walls, which is frankly hilarious to me for some sort of student achievement thing. I prosecute federal hate crimes in Washington, D.C. and around the country for a living. And it's really hard work, and I am astounded and honored that I get to do it. I have 3 nearly feral sons. They're absolutely wild, 6 and under. I'm a great lover of sunrises, and I was recently named the Chief Procurement Officer for my family, which primarily involves remembering the Amazon password. And for the first 18 years of my life, I lived about 3 miles from here. I spent that first half of my life steeped in this really special place, surrounded by folks who work hard, love fiercely, take care of their neighbors, cook delicious food, create art, create families, people who know that these country roads will always bring them home. In the second 18 years of my life, I've lived in many, many more places: Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Boston, China, India, Ghana for a little stretch, and of course in Washington, D.C., where I live now. I've worked in restaurants, I've worked in bars, in newsrooms, in orphanages, in a bowling alley, in a courthouse, and over in my current job as a civil rights prosecutor, I stand up in front of judges and have the great honor of introducing myself. I'm Laura Kate Bernstein, and I represent the United States of America. I've met a lot of people, Supreme Court justices, the Attorney General of the United States. I wore this. This is my meet people and hope that they don't think I shouldn't be here outfit. Senators, Marine Corps generals, scholars and artists and actors, rabbis, athletes, teachers, children, grandparents. I've met racists and bigots. I've met serial stalkers. I've met thieves who have stolen millions. I've met refugees and survivors of child sex trafficking, folks with absolutely nowhere to call home, and folks with nowhere to fit in. I've cared for and rested with some of the poorest people in the whole world. I've also vacationed in the summer homes of some of the richest people in the whole world. I don't think I could have done any of those things without everything I learned here in Harrison County in the first 18 years. But there are some things I've learned from the places I've lived and the folks I've met that I didn't know when I was sitting where you were sitting. The first is this: human beings are breathtakingly beautiful. They make choices every day to lift each other up, to love each other, to imagine how all of this could be even better tomorrow. Human beings will see an injustice in the world and work their entire lives to right it, to fix it. It will just take your breath away to watch just the beauty that human beings are capable of creating, the way they yearn for peace and justice and love. I should also tell you that human beings are terrible. They make choices every day to act out of greed, to tear each other down, to exclude, to sling lies, to push folks to the margins, to dehumanize anyone who seems different, and it can be horrific to watch. And sometimes both of these things are true at the same time. People will make beautiful decisions and terrible decisions. They'll heal and they'll harm, and it's frankly chaotic, but you're ready for it. What I've observed and what I've learned is this: it's absolutely critical and well within your power that you make choices that arc toward beauty. You may look around one day and notice that something isn't right. You may notice poverty and pain and desperation. You may encounter injustice and inequality. You may be tempted to think, well, that's just how it is. It's always been that way. Or worse, you get what you deserve. I encourage you and I challenge you. If you find yourself noticing hard things around you, I hope you won't look away. I hope instead you'll look straight at those hard things, straight in their hard, tricky eyeballs, and don't be afraid. Look straight at the hard things and imagine, can you choose something more beautiful? Can you imagine this looking different? Can you imagine a path or even a single step that arcs toward tomorrow being more beautiful than today? Of all of the people I've encountered in the 18 years since I left this building, the ones I'll remember, the ones who inspire, my heroes, are the ones who look at the hard stuff, the ones who point it out and say, hey, you see this too, right? This can't be right. The ones who imagine a more beautiful future and do whatever they can to breathe a life into it. I am being a bit vague, so let me give you an example. There are so many examples of this kind of beauty, and I've been told to keep it to 15 minutes, so I will keep it together, I promise. When the United States left Afghanistan last summer, my town in Arlington, Virginia, experienced a massive influx of refugee families. Arlington is home to the Pentagon, several military bases, the State Department, so it made sense that folks who were fleeing the Taliban might land in Arlington. And there were a lot of people who were really worried about this. There were whispers. Are they dangerous? Can we trust them? They don't look like us. They don't dress or sound like us. Are the schools going to get too crowded? What about the jobs? People were concerned. People had real fears and some that were imaginary. But one of my neighbors, an Air Force vet named Ryan, had a different reaction. Ryan saw this hard thing and imagined something more beautiful. She saw families. She saw families that were terrified and alone in a new place, families that could use a friend and a little help. And as a vet, she had experience organizing groups of people with different skill sets to accomplish a mission. So she worked to identify families that had just arrived in Arlington from Afghanistan, and then she organized neighborhoods and streets to take care of these families. My street, my one little street in Arlington, set up an entire apartment for a mom and a dad and their 2 little boys. We made sure they had furniture and bedding and kitchen supplies, and that they understood the public transportation system, and that they knew how to dial an interpreter. Until my neighbor started organizing, this family that had put their lives on the line to support the United States military in Afghanistan, was sleeping on the floor of an apartment, sharing a single blanket with a bag of rice and a single pot, and not a clue how to navigate a country they'd never been to in a language they'd never spoken. There are a lot of big and really small examples baked in here. My neighbor saw a hard and scary thing, and she didn't look away. She imagined a more beautiful way, and she breathed life into it. She didn't choose fear, she chose radical welcoming. And that's huge. And she is a force of nature. Well, she's an outlier, right? My family, I already mentioned I have 3 feral sons, and I work full time, and so does my husband. We have no idea how to organize like this. But you know what we did do? We gathered up our toys. We made sure those little boys had some things to play with, and some art supplies, and some comfort toys. We didn't have the resources to buy new furniture for this family, but we did have access to a network of people who could also imagine a more beautiful way to welcome strangers. So I called my parents and my siblings and my friends. My parents, who are sitting right there, brought brand new bunk beds for the boys. You know what else we did? We told my son's school about the family. My oldest son goes to a Jewish school, and his first grade classroom immediately started imagining ways that they, a group of Jewish kids, could welcome this Muslim family. They raised money, they bought kids' books in Farsi so that the kids could have stories that reminded them of home. I'm telling you this story because if there's one thing I've learned in my 18 years, it's that you always, I can't overstate, always have a choice. You can always make decisions, big ones and little ones, that will make your community more beautiful. I tell you this story because you may look at a hard thing and feel fear, and you may want to look away, and I encourage you not to. I encourage you to practice looking straight into the hard stuff and imagining something better. And I encourage you to breathe life into that beauty. So that's the first thing, choose beauty. The second is this, choosing beauty can be really hard. But I know you guys can do really hard things. Look where you are, brightest of the bright in Harrison County. It's not always easy or obvious what the right, true, beautiful thing to do is. In the 18 years since I've left this building, I've encountered many, many decision points in my own life that required massive amounts of self-reflection. Do I move here or there? Do I marry him? Do I take the job? Do I have a kid? Do I have a third kid? This might happen to you too. But I can promise you this. If every time you face one of those critical inflection points, if you look right at it and ask yourself, which direction leads to a truer, more beautiful life, you will be okay. When I was accepted to Harvard, I was also living through a raging eating disorder. No one knew. There I was, fighting desperately to heal without letting anyone know that I was sick. At some point, I was able to get my head above the water for just long enough to beg for help. And I had to look at this hard thing right in the eye. I wasn't okay. I was in no fit state to move to Boston to start law school. I had to look right at my own pain. I had to look right at my own desperation and ask, could it be beautiful? Which next thing will breathe life into a more beautiful tomorrow? I sat in that pain and it hurt. And I made a really hard choice and decided not to go to Harvard. I'd worked so hard for that acceptance letter, so hard. But instead I asked the admissions office if they'd allow me to wait a year because I had work to do. And I spent that year getting treatment, getting therapy, getting better. And I learned a lot of things. First, my eating disorder was never about food. It was about my anxiety and my desperate desire to control something in my life. And healing was so hard. And I had to fight the urge to run. It was a year's worth of tiny baby steps back towards myself, tiny decisions to choose beauty. And I will tell you that my life on the other side of that year, after all that hard work, was so much more beautiful. And I finally got to a place where I could go to law school and thrive. The thing I learned is this: the truest and most beautiful life never promises to be an easy one. Choose truth and beauty anyway. So this brings me to the last thing I wish to share with you. Just to recap, first, life will be beautiful and terrible. Choose beauty. Second, choosing beauty can be really hard. Third, you already know, deep inside of you, what's right and what's not so right. You know what beautiful looks like. Some people may dismiss you as being too young to know. Some people may dismiss you as lacking experience. They are wrong. You know. You may find yourself overwhelmed by the decisions, by the life of a college student, by your sudden adulthood. You may doubt yourself. But you know already what's right. That is your integrity. I beg you to do whatever you can to protect your integrity, your ability to recognize truth and beauty and what's right, your ability to move toward a tomorrow that's better than today. Here's a trick I've learned over and over to protect your integrity. And by integrity, I mean that deep inner inkling about what's right and true and beautiful. To protect it, spend some time with yourself. Spend time getting to know your instincts. Where your instincts lead you astray, dating. Where your instincts lead you the right way, applying for the scholarship. If you can find a quiet place, I like libraries, try to find a quiet place where you can sit and rest your mind and listen to what you already know is true. Take the time to do that, where you find yourself needing to know what is right and needing to know quick. Know what the whispers sound like. Know what to listen for. So to recap, first, life is beautiful and terrible. Choose beauty. Second, choosing beauty can be really hard. Third, you already know what it looks like. That inkling is already inside you if you can quiet down and listen. There's one last thing I need to do to recognize my own inner inkling of what's right and what's not so right. Every day when I go to work, I stand up in a courtroom and represent the United States of America. This week, in fact, I'm traveling to Florida to seek charges against a white man who brutally attacked a black family just because they were black and just because they were driving down the road. Next month, I'm taking a case to trial in which a state employee, not this state, sexually assaulted dozens of vulnerable women just because he could. He had the power and he thought no one would believe the women. I'm obsessed with justice. I think that's fair to say. With fighting for a justice system that is fair and that we can be proud of and that recognizes the humanity of every dang person on the planet. I am so proud of this country's justice system, so proud of this country. I see so many beautiful people, as I've said, who fill it up with ideas about how tomorrow could be more beautiful than today. People who see wrongs and dedicate themselves to making them right. It's unbelievable. Because of this great love I have for these United States, I cannot, in good faith, with this award, honor Stonewall Jackson, a man who betrayed the country I love so much and fought to tear it apart, despite all of the hard work he did. He fought to tear it apart instead of heal it. I also can't honor John W. Davis, a man who stood in front of the Supreme Court and vehemently argued that black children should be segregated away from white children. It would betray my inkling to do that. I can't change history. I can learn from it, but I can't change it. What I can do is choose the parts that I celebrate and which parts I simply learn from. So what I'll do here instead, if you'll allow me, is to use this opportunity to celebrate each of you. You, of course, are the folks who have the incredible opportunity to write the next chapter of American history, the next chapter of West Virginia history, and I am honored to be here in your presence. It's your moment, and so it's with the utmost gratitude that I would accept this Alumni Achievement Award, which I'm calling the Byrd, Liberty, Notre Dame, Lincoln, South Harrison, Bridgeport Class of 2022 Alumni Award, because it's you. It's you who gets to see the beauty and choose it, even when it's hard. It's you who get to dream up and imagine how tomorrow could be more beautiful than today. It's you who gets to breathe life into your wonderful and incredible ideas. And it's my greatest honor to recognize all that you will do. Thank you.
Laura, on behalf of Doris Stutler and Harrison County Schools and Michael Moore and the Harrison County Student, I'm sorry? I'm going to have you stand. Yeah, if you would, yes. Yeah, Michael Moore, again, the Vice President of the Harrison County Student Achievement Board of Directors. We're going to present you with the distinguished, do you want to rename the award again?
All of you award.
This year's Distinguished All of You Award goes to Laura Kate Bernstein. Thank you for joining us today. And in light of that serious stuff, real quick, as Laura mentioned, we were neighbors for quite some time, and Laura will remember this. I don't know if they still do it or not. Do they still do the water balloon thing? Do you know? You have any clue? When Laura and my son were seniors together at RCB, at the end of the year, they had a competition for those who chose to participate, whereby I think all of the kids got a popsicle stick that they had to protect with their life, as the other kids chose water balloons as their weapon and would try to seek them out and hit them with a water balloon if doing so, they got to keep the other person's popsicle stick. And the idea was to collect as many of those as possible. I don't know what you got at the end of all that, but that was. But anyway, I wanted to point that out only because that was pretty serious stuff, and we wanted to let you know that Laura has a fun side, because there was a day in our neighborhood where, for a good part of the afternoon, Laura and my son were running around houses as she tried to capture my son's popsicle stick, and she had to do so by hitting him with the water balloon, and Bradley was having none of it. And she was terrified. But she does have a wonderful fun side as well, so we're so delighted to have you here. And I still get a kick out of the fact that talking about the serious side, how serious my son was about everything that he did. He actually captured someone's popsicle stick coming out of a restaurant, Muriel's in Fairmont. He whacked a young lady with a water balloon. And then went to his car and got out a towel and offered her a towel because he felt bad about that. So, good son, bad son. Okay, it's time for our awards. And I want you to know these scholarships from the Harrison County Student Achievement Board are every bit as good as student loans because you don't have to pay them back. I'm not sure they covered that news on TikTok, but the parents should get that a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is call up individuals one at a time. And I guess, does it make any difference? I guess you can come up these steps, please. You'll receive your check, and then you're going to move to the background here for a photograph. If there's a parent with a camera and you want to stay down in this area, take pictures, that's fine as well. I will tell you that, Michael, did you say 42? Over 40 scholarships. So we'll try to move this along as best we possibly can, but we wanted to do it and recognize these young people for their talents individually. I would ask the young people, you're not going to be walking a modeling line here. You know you're getting a scholarship. Kind of be ready when we call your name to hustle on up here, and we'll get through this in as short order as possible. Okay, so Dora and Michael are going to hand out the checks, and if the students are ready, we will begin this. Again, you're going to come to this side if you would. And if there is a representative of the company that actually is sponsoring the check and you want to come up and be a part of the photograph and the presentation, please kind of hustle up at the same time and do that as well, because I know we have a couple of them here. Okay. Back to the glasses. Oh, and this is one that I should have checked on beforehand because I'm usually very attentive to that. But our first scholarship is from attorney Daniel Baker. A $500 scholarship is awarded to Bridgeport High School's Myra Blunt. Is that correct? I know some people pronounce it differently. Myra, did I get it right? Blount? Mira, I got the first name. I told somebody today the first names are harder than the last names. Did I get the Blunt right? Never thought I'd blow the first name. Mira Blunt. Congratulations. Okay. A scholarship, $500 from Dr. Mo Moman, is presented to Robert C. Byrd High School's Haley Knight. Amos Carvelli Funeral Home presents a $500 scholarship to Lincoln High School's Mila Milano. A $1,000 scholarship is presented to Bridgeport High School's Macy Cook. That's from Bad Lizard Granite and Quartz. Macy Cook. I'm not seeing Macy. Is that, anyone know? Is she here? Okay. Beacon Wealth Management presents a $1,000 scholarship to Bridgeport High School's Clayton Hammond. A $500 City National Bank scholarship is awarded to Briar Huff, Bridgeport High School. Don't see Mr. Huff, okay. A $500 Clarksburg Rotary scholarship is presented to Robert C. Byrd High School's Michaela Jenin. Clarksburg Rotary Club. A Dominion Energy Scholarship, $1,000, goes to Notre Dame High School's Noah Maisie. Action Facilities Management presents a $1,000 scholarship to Liberty High School's Hayden Dodd. McIntyre Memorial Scholarship, $500, is presented to South Harrison High School's Emily Bennett. Andrew and Lisa Lang award a $500 scholarship to Lincoln High School's Brooklyn Fazzini. Everybody's getting their steps in for today. Baker Tilly U.S. presents a $500 scholarship to Bridgeport High School's Laura Pillay. Civil Environmental Consultants presents a $1,000 scholarship to Robert C. Byrd's Sophia Friedman. MHI RJ Aviation presents a $1,000 scholarship to Bridgeport High School's Omar Sabah. Fairmont Federal Credit Union presents a $500 scholarship to Liberty High School's Kaylee Pennington. A $500 scholarship from Fazilaire Engineering goes to Lincoln High School's Sydney Brooks. Cooper Law Offices presents a $500 scholarship to Bridgeport High School's Sophia Pintai. Okay. Don't worry, they'll get their money. Yeah, and don't take that to the bank. They will not look favorably upon you. And we don't want Laura chasing you down. A Freedom Bank $500 scholarship is presented to Notre Dame High School's Caitlin Oltman. Harrison County Dental awards a $500 scholarship to Robert C. Byrd High School's Isabel Simmons. A $500 scholarship, sponsored by Harrison County Bank, goes to Anthony Rogers, Notre Dame High School. Mr. Miley, do you want to come up for presentations, please? Tim Miley from Miley Legal Group. A first $500 scholarship awarded by Miley Legal Group goes to Bridgeport High School's Mara Johnson. A $500 Miley Legal Group scholarship is awarded to Lincoln High School's Matthew Kearns. A $500 scholarship from Miley Legal Group goes to Sydney Villain, Liberty High School. That's as long as the walk from Liberty High School, Sydney. So, good work. She was way off to the sidewalk. A $500 Miley Legal Group scholarship is awarded to South Harrison High School's Lakota Wilson. A $500 Miley Legal Group scholarship is awarded to Ashton Nardella, Notre Dame High School. A $500 Miley Legal Group scholarship goes to Robert C. Byrd's Delaney Wolf. A $500 Miley Legal Group scholarship goes to Kylie Burke, Bridgeport High School. Roadhaver Group, Jim, do you want to come up? This is the proud papa of our featured speaker, James Denny, with the Roadhaver Accounting Group. A $500 scholarship from the Roadhaver Group is presented to Bridgeport High School's Riley Mullins. Pepsi Bottling Company presents a $1,000 scholarship to Reese Allen, Bridgeport High School. A Pratt Whitney Engine Services $1,000 scholarship is awarded to Notre Dame High School's Inez Behrens. A Pratt Whitney Engine Services $1,000 scholarship is presented to Jean Hutchinson, Notre Dame High School. Jean Hutchison, is that correct? I think I might have slipped an extra N in there. A Steptoe and Johnson $500 scholarship is presented to South Harrison High School's Hannah Woods. Superintendent's getting her steps in today too, right? You love it. Okay, good. A West Union Bank $500 scholarship is presented to Lincoln High School's Grant Chevront. The Stockmeyer Urethanes $500 scholarship is presented to Bridgeport High School's Jade Wynn. Harrison County Student Achievement sponsors a $500 scholarship. This year it goes to Lincoln High School's Santino Loretta. Radiological Physician Associates awards a $1,000 scholarship to Mary Seaman, Notre Dame High School. Sacred Heart Children's Center sponsors a $1,000 scholarship This year it goes to South Harrison High School's Madison Stone Street. A $1,000 Rominger Dental Scholarship is presented to Bruce Keener, Bridgeport High School. The Robert Kittle, a former Harrison County School Superintendent, Memorial $1,000 Scholarship is presented to Savannah Jones, Lincoln High School. The Thrasher Group presents a $1,000 scholarship to Bridgeport High School's Emma McNally. C. Byrd's Bella Rock. A $1,000 waste management scholarship goes to Matthew Lilly, Liberty High School. Just a note too, I know that all of you have acquired great research skills in seeking out scholarships to go to college. Don't forget to put those skills to use looking up addresses and names of some of these sponsors. I'm sure they'd love to receive a little thank you note from you. A waste management $1,000 scholarship goes to Brendan Smith, South Harrison High School. A $1,000 waste management scholarship is presented to Bridgeport High School's Ezra Myers. Ezra, you headed to Florida after this? Last week, he said. Good for you. A $1,000 waste management scholarship is presented to Callie Shingleton, Lincoln High School. No? A Harrison County Student Achievement Board scholarship for $1,000 is presented to Bridgeport High School's Olivia Noonan. You're doing fine. A $1,000 Harrison County Student Achievement Scholarship goes to Robert C. Byrd's Mina Moyne. And our final scholarship, to great applause, a Harrison County Student Achievement Scholarship for $1,000 goes to Emma Samples, South Harrison High School. That's all the names on my list. And I've only got $5 in my pocket, so okay, I had another little story here that I'll tell quickly. I also want to let you know that the Liberty High School Pro Start group is sponsoring a reception. Not only are they sponsoring it, they prepared it. There'll be cookies, veggies, fruits, and I presume refreshments for you all. So please stay around for a little bit, and they'll be right outside the cafeteria there. Okay, thank you all, number one, for coming. This is, again, a great program. To my knowledge, there aren't other counties around that do this, so our thanks to the Board of Directors and certainly to the sponsors for the faith they show in our future leaders of Harrison County, and obviously as they go on to jobs and careers, I'm sure folks in other counties around this country will appreciate what's been done for them to help them with their schooling. Okay, another one just that kind of talks to years down the road for people like me that went to high school, lots of years ago. A man was sitting on the edge of his bed watching his wife, who was looking at herself in the mirror. Since her birthday was not far off, he asked her, "What would you like as a gift?" "I'd like to be 8 again," she replied, still looking in the mirror. On the morning of her birthday, he rose early, made her a nice big bowl of Cocoa Pops. It's Cocoa Puffs, isn't it? Or Cocoa Puffs, if you prefer. He took her to Adventure World, a local theme park. What a day. He put her on every ride in the park, the death slide, the wall of fear, the screaming roller coaster, everything there was. 5 hours later, they staggered out of that theme park. Her head was reeling, her stomach felt upside down, and so he took her to McDonald's for a Happy Meal and a milkshake. Then it was off to a movie with popcorn, a soda pop, her favorite candy, M&Ms. What a fabulous adventure. Finally, she wobbled home with her husband, collapsed into bed, exhausted. He hopped onto the edge of the bed, leaned over his wife with a big smile, and lovingly asked, "Well, dear, what was it like being 8 again?" Her eyes slowly opened and her expression suddenly changed. "I meant my dress size, you idiot." And brothers, the moral of this story, brothers meaning you guys, even when you're listening, you're always going to get it wrong. Thank you very much. Please stay around for snacks just outside the theater. And again, congratulations to all of you. Do well in school. Go have great careers. And we appreciate what you've done to date in your schooling. I know it's hard work, and the last 2 years have been quite challenging, so a big, hearty congratulations from all of us, sponsors, parents, students, teachers. Thank you and good night.